This is the Steve Shriver Podcast, where entrepreneur, adventurer, and community activist Steve Shriver shares what he's learned on his journey so you can make it in business and make it good. The big topic for this episode:
I want to talk about being self-made. If you are looking for the easy way out, if you are looking for the drive-through entrepreneurship, and if you're hoping to get lucky and you don't want to work your ass off for success, then press stop right now and get the hell out of here.
Steve will be right back. The Steve Shriver Podcast is brought to you by Ecolips, the original organic lip balm. Use the promo code PODCAST20 for 20% off your first order on ecolips.com. Ecolips, all-natural organic lip balm, deeply connected with nature, applying beneficial organic ingredients to better people's lives. A proud certified B Corp, founded in 2003. Ecolips, spread the good. And spread the promo code PODCAST20 into that promo code box. It's good for 20% off your first order on ecolips.com.
Hey, Steve Shriver here. Welcome to the Steve Shriver Podcast. I am here in a different location today. If it sounds different, if it looks different, it is different. I am recording today in the Geometric building. We're in the New Bohemia district of Cedar Rapids, and in there is the Iowa Startup Accelerator and many other things, Iowa Big, etc. But in the Vault co-working space, we have a recording studio, and it allows people like me to use a space like this to record stuff and do podcasts. So thank you to the Vault and everybody involved in that process. I hope it still sounds good enough. I know it's a little bit off the norm. I'm not going to say it's off brand because it's pretty much on brand. We're talking about entrepreneurship, and you do what you can. You get by with what you got. I don't have any time scheduled with Joe in Cafe Grande Studios. I'm going to miss Joe. I'm going to miss Andy on the sidelines, and I hope you guys are okay with all this. But we're going to do it anyway. Today this will be a condensed version of our regular podcast because we don't have all that fun banter. But I want to talk about being self-made. Self-made is, I didn't set out to become self-made, right? I knew I was an entrepreneur / business person from my early days, but I wasn't like, I'm going to become a self-made millionaire. I became self-made. By working my butt off. And so self-made is really, it's this thing about creating your own wealth, creating your own success, not being handed a big inheritance that creates your baseline of wealth. And that was not me. I did not inherit anything, and I made my first dollar, and I keep making it. So I want to dive into this a little bit and see where it goes, right? And so let's go. I guess the one thing about being self-made, and this goes out to anybody listening right now, if you are looking for the easy way out, if you are looking for the drive-through entrepreneurship, and if you're hoping to get lucky and you don't want to work your ass off for success, then press stop right now and get the hell out of here. because the majority of successful people would tell you that there's no luck in this game. This is a game of hard work and dedication and resilience, and that's what entrepreneurship is. That is what being successful is, or getting to this point of success, right? So on that inheritance thing, I did not inherit money per se. But I inherited something even better. And my mom, who raised me, she gave me the gift of belief. Thank you, Mom. I love you, and I appreciate it because it is the most valuable gift that anybody could ever give is belief. She convinced me And I'll say there's some times where it's a curse because I believe that I'm capable of things that I'm not capable of. But in general, I believe in myself. And most of us don't. I've gone through periods where I don't, and I realize that a lot of people are operating in this world of, self-doubt. Self-doubt is a real problem. Fear and self-doubt are our enemies. And so my mom gave me the gift of believing in myself. She didn't create a ton of boundaries for me when I was growing up, so I had to discover where I was going and what I was doing and where too far was, right? I had to figure a lot of that stuff out on my own. And so that independence piece came with it. But she really stoked that drive and that passion for exploration by not really doing what a lot of parents do. And as a parent, I'm sure I'm guilty of it. But whether you know it or not, we doubt our kids. We doubt them. And when you doubt somebody, they know it. You can't hide it. I mean, you might act like you don't know that somebody's doubting you, but in the end, man, we doubt a lot of other people, and we doubt what they can do. We doubt what they're capable of, or what we believe they're capable of, and we doubt ourselves and what we are capable of. So let's get fear and self-doubt out of the way and start moving forward. So believing in yourself is a fundamental trait of every successful person. So believe in yourself. If you wake up and you're having one of those days where you don't believe in yourself, look in the mirror, give yourself a pep talk, go for a run, whatever you need to do, get on the treadmill, whatever you got to do, you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody is going to do it for you. So believe. Okay. That doesn't mean believing in yourself. It doesn't mean like blindly going about your way and making bad decisions and continuing on, haphazardly. This means that you're going to try things, you're going to fail, but you're going to believe in yourself enough to get to the next step. Okay. I'm one of the most optimistic people I've ever met. And part of that is because it's instilled in my blood, it's in my DNA that I'm going to believe in myself. But at the same time, there's a time and a place for recognizing when you got to stop and when you got to pull back and make your changes. But anyway, let's believe in yourself. The other part of this whole self-made thing is you are the driver, right? Think about your life. Think about where you're at. Who is driving your life right now? Is it your boss? Is it your family? Is it your parents? Is it society and the expectations that they have on you? One of the reasons that I love entrepreneurship is because I'm the fucking driver. And you should be the driver of your life. This is our time. This is our life. So you are the driver. No one else should be your driver. And you're responsible. That means that you're responsible for your successes, and that means that you're responsible for your failures. Just like in a car, right? If you get in an accident, it's your fault, right? I mean, in some capacity, you probably could have stopped it. I know there's examples. It's probably a bad example, but I'm just saying, you are the driver of your life. If you succeed, you are responsible for success. If you fail, you need to fess up to that failure. I very rarely talk to successful people who place blame on others, who will say, that wasn't my fault, that wasn't our fault, that wasn't our... At Ecolips and some of my other businesses, we blame the system rather than blame the person. And so here, when you're the driver, it is your system and you are the person. So it's all encompassing. It's actually a lot of responsibility to be self-made, to be the driver. It takes a lot. to be that person. And so there's a question for you. Are you ready for that? I mean, most days I am, some days I'm not, but I still push through. So the other part about being the driver and working your way to being self-made is that we tend to overthink things. We are taught to analyze the crap out of things. It's like, I think I read somewhere when you have, we take the most time making decisions that have the least amount of consequence, okay? We take the most time on the decisions that have the least amount of consequence. When you're in the grocery store and you have all these salad dressings in front of you or whatever, and it's like, oh my God, you could spend 15, 20 minutes on that decision on what salad dressing you should pick out. But if your hair's on fire, you're gonna put it out right away. So we have been given this gift of time and just, this idea that we can take as long as we want to decide whatever we want. Well, guess what? We don't have a lot of time. Let's make a decision. Let's make the first move towards your goal and get it done. And so many times we don't even take that first step because we're too caught up in overanalyzing it. It's called paralysis by analysis. And so, again, you want to be successful, take a step forward, stop thinking about it, start doing it. Just start doing it. And really, it's about making your first dollar, right? You're going to make your first dollar. All right. Then you got to make you're going to make your first $1,000. Okay. Continue to work. Don't overanalyze. Stay optimistic. Believe in yourself. You make your first $100,000. Continue. Make your first $1 million. Continue. Each time you're learning from it, optimizing, getting better. So every time you hit one of these, I don't necessarily say, all right, yeah, now I'm here and I've got to step back and look, but sometimes it might be a Wednesday, it might be a Saturday, it might be a July camping trip, but it's like, okay, where am I at? And every single time that I look back at what I've done, I realize that I continue to grow and build assets, and then I continue to put everything on the line, and then I build more assets, and then I continue to put more on the line, and every time I have more to put on the line, I'm putting it on the line. But every time I do that, it is building my asset base. I've never, ever looked at my weekly payroll or my, my income as my measure of success. If that's you, then that's cool. It's not me. This is my perspective. Some days, some weeks, I will go without pay. Some months, I've gone without pay. But what I have always worked on is building that asset base up, building up this asset base. And every time, I would actually work towards paying myself the least amount possible that I could live on, so that I could reinvest in my business. So I would live broke and poor. I would not necessarily poor, but I'd be broke and paying myself as little as possible. And that has allowed me to build up this asset base. As I multiply my assets, then I'm multiplying my earnings too. I have that opportunity to, or I can continually reinvest those. There's a book by Robert Kiyosaki called The Millionaire Next Door, and it's about this driving an old car, living in an old house, and really being the millionaire next door that you had no idea he was a millionaire, but he is, and he's comfortable because he's lived fairly conservatively and been able to invest in all of these assets. So along this whole way that we're working hard and we're staying optimistic and we're building our base and multiplying our assets, building a friend base. For me, it was about being a good human and making as many friends as possible that I can lean on. And I let a lot of people lean on me too. So it's not a one-way street at all. But build your friend base, building your peer base, your network, your industry contacts, your Rolodex. You know, back in the old days, it's like we had Rolodexes, and we'd be able to, I know that guy, I know that guy. Or that person. Every time that, I guess, looking at people in successful positions have gotten there because of something that they know or someone they met based on somebody's contacts. So like it's a spider web and we're all connected. And so many times we hit a wall and we stop, and if there's a way to get around that wall, is problem solving our way through the day, problem solving our way to success. But so many times it's like, I just need to have this one conversation or know that this one thing is available to me to get me over that hump and to get me through to the next challenge down the road. So the more people that I know that are in my network, or that are in the networks of the more people that I know, the more that we have at our, in our tool chest for success. So I'm going to do a little recap, and this is cool. It's 15 minutes in. This thing's about being self-made. I am proud of anybody who's on that path and who's doing their, living out their dream and their mission, and keep it up. So being self-made, believe in yourself. What else? Be optimistic. Don't overthink it. Work hard, then work harder, then work even harder, and keep growing those assets. Multiply your assets. Let your employees drive nicer cars than you. It's okay. Okay. I don't know who said this, but it's a quote. I wrote it down here. If you believe you can or cannot, you are right. And I believe in that statement. I believe in you, and I believe in myself. Gosh darn it. All right. Thank you guys. Steve Shriver Podcast. You can catch us on all the stuff. The Spotify, the Apple, the YouTube, the World Wide Web, SteveShriverPodcast.com. We have a cool discussion group where we get into this kind of stuff. It's on the Facebook page, and then it's one step in called the Steve Shriver Podcast discussion group. And I thank you for taking the time to listen, and I'm going to go work my butt off and build my asset base, and I hope you do too. Cheers.
The Steve Shriver Podcast is brought to you by Ecolips, the original lip balm. Use the promo code podcast20 for 20% off your first order at ecolips.com. Keep up with the show at steveshriverpodcast.com and the Steve Shriver Podcast on Facebook.